And we're back. Hey guys, welcome back in. This is our first time recording in person together since we launched the podcast back.
Since the dawn of the ages.
Since July. Time be flying.
June, dude. Since end of June.
Oh, okay. We released in July though.
Late July.
I think July 17th was our launch date. Was it?
I think it was July 27th.
Okay.
But whatever, same shit. Same shit. Yeah, we're in person, baby. The energy is fucking lit and I'm excited. I've been here for
24 hours?
like exactly 24 hours.
Literally, exactly. You landed exactly 24 hours to this time.
Yes. And it's nuts to be basically like the second I got in the car, I was like, Nikki, this is crazy. We are living the vision board that we had created when we first were ideating on starting a fucking podcast together. And I was like,
which was what month? Let's go back to what was it? We were planning
April.
FYLP. It was April.
That infamous night where I was like, should we start a podcast?
I think we were high on edibles.
Probably. It was like really late. It was like 3 a.m. and I
Yes.
was standing in my kitchen. You were in the living room.
Yeah. We spoke about this on the first episode.
Yeah, I think we talked about it.
Yeah.
But it's just nuts because I was just saying how we're like in a flow. We do episodes every week. We have fucking 18 episodes out today.
Yeah.
And just how in even June, the idea of like the OOMIEs in the community was like a twinkle in our eye. Like we didn't even really know what it was going to be. It was all just the preliminary stages. And that 4 days that I was here was intense. It was like 4 jam-packed days of Joshua Tree recording. Also, it was only like the third time of us being in person together.
Which is wild to think
like,
about.
I know. And it's like looking, the difference between that time of recording and like the branding shoot and where we are now feels so different in the best way. And that it's like, I know you even better now because it's just nuts, the like changes. And I was just having a moment in the car after she picked me up where I was like, dude, this is crazy. We're like doing it and we have like a well-oiled machine going and now we're planning this live event.
Wait, maybe we should insert the clip of us in the car right here.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm down. Note to the editor.
Insert now.
Yeah.
The editor, us.
One of us.
Fucking
literally,
us.
We're not at the point of we haven't yet hired out editors. We do it all in-house.
Speaking of doing it all, I mean, that's literally what got us to this point of feeling so different. It's like when you have that vision, you don't know what the hell you need to do or how to even do it. I mean, you had more awareness around all the tech and all the things because you had a podcast, but I like was raw dogging the shit out of this experience.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so to give you guys some insight, we've been editing on and off. So I'll edit an episode, then Bella will edit an episode, and we're kind of finding our flow with the way that we roll out this podcast. And I had to really learn Premiere for the first time in my entire life. I've never edited on Premiere, Adobe Premiere. And every time I would edit, I would have these like moments of panic where I would just get so overwhelmed with the fact that I didn't know what I was doing that I would send Bella like these rage texts. I literally felt like a crazy, like, you know, when you're in like a toxic relationship and someone's like texting like
triggered.
Fuck you. Like,
yeah, you're like, God damn it, same thing is happening again.
Yeah.
The internet doesn't have answers.
Just so activated. So yeah, from my side, starting this podcast, like it has been a freaking journey.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest realization I've been having is that like you just learn as you go and you can't hold yourself back from doing something in life because you don't think you know how to do all the technicalities and the logistics and all the things.
You literally
just gotta
learn it on the
freaking go.
And dude, that's like the biggest thing to learn and realize is everyone is doing that. Like really nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. Like
I think that's a life hack.
It really is because then it makes you realize why like it stops you from not starting.
Right.
Which is like a double negative, but it basically gets you to start because everyone is basically figuring it out as they go. Even if they're like a professional and they're like many, many years into it, like everyone's figuring it out. And it's with the whole podcasting thing, it gets so overwhelming because you have all this gear and editing and whatever. And there's levels to it too. Like the second you include video, then it's like, okay, you actually have to edit it like with Adobe Premiere or Final Cut or whatever. And then you have a tech aspect. It takes you hours, especially if you're learning it. And I mean, you've definitely done well. Like also consider, like I in college, like took classes on like editing and production. So I've like been in this world for like a decade or longer actually. And like, it's definitely, there's a reason why people like study it and you're like do it in class. Cause it's so much of like, fuck, how do you do this? How do you do that? Running into this issue and then like running into it fucking 12 more times before you realize how to like fix it.
Yeah.
So
you learn through the failure.
Right. And it's like every time you do it, you're so much more confident because you were in the arena doing it.
Right.
And that's the key. That's what confidence is. It's just proving to yourself that you actually could do it.
Well, there was one point where I texted you where I was like, you know what? I'm realizing this is not healthy for me to just text you for every question. I need to just figure this out on my own. So unless it's like a dire emergency where literally we have something like needed to be releasing in like a minute and I can't, I'm going to do this on my own.
Yeah.
And like there have been times where I'm sitting at my computer and like Peter and I share an office and he can feel me just like getting frustrated. And he's like, are you okay? Are you okay?
Are we about to have a meltdown? Do we need to call someone?
Literally. But when we first started this podcast, I was borrowing Bella's mic. I had this shitty sound box that honestly, you probably can hear now the difference in the quality of my sound right now versus the other episodes. And there was just so many like, I don't know, I really jumped into it just buying like the cheapest freaking gear and not knowing anything. And I share all this because you don't have to have all the fancy gear to start the thing that you want to do. You don't even have to have all the the fancy camera setups. We've been using our freaking iPhone.
Our iPhones are the alternating shots.
Yeah, and we have a GoPro.
And now we have a GoPro. We added one. But because that's the thing. Here's the thing. This is what I have found. It depends. You have to basically tap into what will help you get going. For me, I'm someone who I want to have like the legit setup. I want to like get all the right gadgets and gears.
Yeah. Like from the start.
From the start. Because that helps me be like, I'm doing this. I'm bought in. I put the money in. And it makes me feel like, okay, I have this stuff. Like there's no reason to not do this. But then some people, it's better to just keep it simple. Buy a fucking blue mic or whatever that you put into your computer and you record on GarageBand. No video, nothing, simple. And then it just gets you going.
Right.
But it's like, that's kind of, you have to figure out what works for you. And it's like, that's been this whole experience is figuring out what do you really need to get going versus what's, best to reduce the resistance to just actually start doing it.
Right. I mean, maybe we could start talking about how to make your creative visions a reality.
Yeah. Before we do that, is there anything else we want to reflect on? Because I feel like we wanted to like drop people into like this energy. This is kind of a bonus little episode.
Okay, so
to just share like literally physically where we're at. Because there's some people have been following from episode 1 and have listened to every single one, even if that's not you. Just, I think it's fun to share a little bit more behind the curtain of what's been going on and how we got here.
Right. Okay. So to be honest, my confidence on the mic has grown immensely over the past however many months we've been doing this, 18 weeks. And I even reflect back on the way that I was feeling the first episode. And on this whole journey, I feel like there was a point where I talked to you and I was like, I feel like I'm not showing my true self. Like I'm thinking too much about what I'm saying, which is almost like this initiation you go through when you're sharing your voice in any sort of way, which I already went through when I was sharing my voice on TikTok. But when you're on the mic, there's a certain level of rawness to it that's different than creating a video for TikTok or Instagram. Right. That you can edit the clip and shorten it and really cut out the fat that's not needed.
Right.
With podcasting, it's like, here's the mic, freaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there were times where you and I were virtual, and I think it was the episode where we did the Q&A.
Yeah.
I was
Unhinged.
like, yeah, I think I was just not feeling really in my body that week. And I go through these waves of just feeling more in my body to like not feeling that much in my body, where I have to really work on like regulating myself. And when I'm not in my body, I'll notice when I'm recording, I'm just like a little more thinking about what I'm saying as opposed to just like fucking saying it.
Yeah.
Being here. But being in person just feels so special because it just feels like we're like talking and just like,
and it's like hello. Nice to meet you. Hey, I'm the person on the other side of the Zoom.
Hello.
But yeah, it's well, because it's like also when you're doing it virtual, there's a lot more room, I think, for you to get in your own head and think about it. And then we like literally log off the Zoom and we're separate again. And it's like, you're just analyzing and then you watch the episode back. I mean, that's why for people who are interested in creative pursuits, it is literally the best fucking fire to walk through, because every time you publish or produce or make some form of art that you put out there, it literally, you're looking at yourself.
Right.
And so everything comes up about how you're showing up. Do you like it or not? Do you think it sucked or was it great? And it's like, that's you looking at yourself. So it's very confronting.
And the fact that there's fucking metrics now.
Right.
Like, think about the way an artist used to share their art. They would make their art, they'd go put it in a gallery or sell it to someone for them to hang up on their wall. They would never see it again. And it would just be enjoyed by the one person who chose to buy it and place it in their line of sight.
Yeah.
For us and for any other artist in today's world, we're literally sharing our art with the people from high school that follow us on Instagram.
Right.
From the people that maybe don't even actually like what it is we're saying, but they just weirdly like to keep up with.
They hate follow. That's the thing, I feel like.
Yeah, no, it definitely, I feel like when I was previously, just like before I jumped into this personal development journey, it was almost like a normal thing you would do on social media. It was like scroll and look at people and like feel jealous and like be annoyed and be like triggered. And it would be this weird pleasure because, I think this connects to what we're going to talk about in the other episode. It's like a comforting feeling because it's triggering the emotions that are already within you to just be like angry.
Right.
But then once you start working on happiness and really like allowing yourself to be happy and feel at peace, social media becomes this place where you want to follow people that inspire you and educate you and uplift you. But back to what I was saying about the art, it's such a vulnerable place for us to share because there's metrics that go along with it. There's eyes that maybe wouldn't be looking at your art if it was in an art gallery. Right. And then there's like this vulnerability of putting something out there and like waiting to see how it's going to be received.
Yeah, like hitting refresh. Like, did it land? When
we first started, I was doing a lot of manifestation meditations where I was really honing in on the energy of a creator. And you really inspired me to do this because I remember you reflected back to me in a story of how one day you woke up and you're like, I'm done trying to be a creator. I'm going to claim myself as a creator.
Right.
And not to talk about metrics and stuff, but you grew on Instagram and you were really creating stuff from a very genuine place of the soul.
Yeah.
And it just came natural because you were in that vibration.
Right.
So when we first started,
it was a big shift from the headspace I was in before.
Right.
For years.
Of like trying.
Yeah.
The headspace of trying to create art and trying to share and trying to like get people to see.
And it's a lot of like lack, ego, worry about the creations rather than just being wholeheartedly in them.
Right.
Because it's like I had my solo podcast for 3 years and it was like a whole fucking journey of sometimes it would do well, but obviously compared to how this is doing and how for my own metric of what is like successful to me personally, it never reached where I wanted it to go. And it's totally like was the change of earlier this year of what you're saying of that story of how I was like, I'm a creator, done. Like we're doing this and we're going all in on it. And the energy shift that then helped me to be open to starting this with you, letting go of my old show. Like that was a huge ego death for me.
Yeah.
Was when I was like, remember I was like going to keep my old show. And the whole time I was like, there's something in me that's saying I need to let this go, but I did not want to at all. And that's again, like another piece of the journey of creativity and putting your heart into something is that you might have a period of creating that I think is very important, but your creations probably won't meet your personal metric of success. And then that's part of it though, is to have like, I'm glad I had that period where for 3 years it felt like nothing was happening.
Well, there was medicine in that.
Exactly.
What was it for you?
Right. I mean, it was kind of it proved to me like I kept showing up and I can say that I showed up, which gives me confidence. And it also gives me like, it's like, what's the word? There's like a credibility to committing to something, even when it's quote unquote failing or not working. Obviously it's not a failure because it got me to where I am now, and it will like continue to be part of the story forward. But I feel like there's a credibility to being able to show even just yourself, and then of course other people, if it's important to your message, that you kept going and that you picked yourself up every time that you didn't feel like doing it. And I think there's a lot of strength in, whether you're a creator or an entrepreneur or whatever you are, being able to continue showing up even when you're in like the really low depths of it not working out the way that you thought it would. So, I mean, it gives me a lot of confidence, and then just I'm so much more grateful and present with every ounce of success that I encounter, whether it has to do with me and you, this podcast, or my personal, like other business stuff. Every time I encounter a success moment, I feel so worthy of it. And I feel so like grounded in like, yes, this is what we've been working toward. So it's like, that's the beauty of the slow burn. Is you're like, I fucking have been here doing this and I'm fully worthy of this.
Yeah. The overnight success is not really what you want.
Yeah, it usually doesn't work out well. Usually, like, I mean, dude, this is kind of a connected to like an old paradigm, new earth, whatever you want to call it, is the like old, like celebrities or in like internet celebrities are kind of the best example of this, of when people skyrocket and then it ends up being so much and their nervous system literally hasn't caught up. And then they're like flung into fame or they're flung into wealth. And
like
they just
Charlie
don't know.
D'Amelio, is that her name?
Yeah, yeah. Or like Emma Chamberlain, she's like doing okay now, but she definitely had a phase where she was like struggling. And I swear it's like the somewhat Gen Z mentality of we want our success yesterday and we don't want to wait for it.
Right. And there's so many lessons and initiations and medicine in the journey.
Yeah.
And it's also where the enjoyment is.
Right.
Even as we were setting up for this, I said to Bella, I'm like, sometimes I have to pinch myself because I'm like so focused on like, oh wait, we need to set up this mic and set up, but it's like, and then we just both looked at each other and like, this is it. Like, this is life. Like, this is the fun part of life. Like, it's a freaking Wednesday afternoon and we're sitting here in LA recording a podcast.
Right.
And it was just such a pinch me moment of being like, this is where the joy is.
Yeah.
It's in the present moment of the process and the journey.
Right.
And that's where the fulfillment comes in.
Right. And keep in mind, we are not necessarily even at like the personal success metric that we know we can get to in terms of like monetization or like audience size or fucking whatever like external metric. But the point is we're fully grateful and present in that we're just sitting here doing something we genuinely love.
Right.
And
the fulfillment is my metric of success. So in my...
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Same. But it's like to say that someone listening, it's like, oh yeah, if their perception is that it would be easy to feel fulfilled and whatever when you have all the stuff, it's like, no, we're saying this and it's like, it's creating your own internal version of success that will actually breed the traditional success that everyone is generally thinking about.
Right. Right. And another thing I want to bring up here is like, you know how I was talking to you about this? I think it was, I can't remember if it was over the phone or when we were in person yesterday, but sometimes I'll hear people talk about like the personal development journey or the healing journey in a negative light of people saying like, oh, like, why are people like so obsessed with like personal development and healing? And it's not that people are obsessed with personal development and healing. You kind of become really, I don't want to use the word addicted here because that sounds negative, but you become dedicated to the journey of releasing and shedding parts of yourself that are just not in energetic alignment with you because you start to see how good life gets.
Right.
And I just started to have like this awareness around like how many positive people I know. And I started to just tap into the way that they see their life and they're just always in awe of life. And I feel that way. And I know you feel that way. And it's just this process of changing the way you see life, changing the way you see yourself. And then next thing you know, it's like you wake up one day and it's just like, holy shit, I'm so in love with life to a point where I wake up just feeling so excited about what the day is going to bring. And it's like this crazy feeling that I never actually knew existed. I would read about it, like, be grateful for where you are now while heading to your destination. And I'm like, fuck you. I hate where I'm at right now. But now I understand it. Like the second you seep into the present moment and you just feel the joy that surrounds you, whether it be like looking at the freaking flower outside or the sun, it's just that is where the fulfillment and the joy is. And you can still have a vision for the future while being so freaking grounded into the present moment.
Right.
And I think I fully feel that and understand that with this project that we're doing, because it's like, yeah, we have this vision and we don't really know where it's going to take us. We don't really know what's going to happen with our careers. We have no idea.
Right.
And we both know that this is just like the start of something really special. But at the same time, we can have that vision and still feel so fulfilled and happy with where we're at right now. And that's such a special feeling because life just feels freaking good.
Yeah. And then I think you're also, as it relates to why personal development and being on that healing journey or whatever you would call it, why people get so dedicated to it, is that also it has a very practical benefit to your career and your life and whatever you're doing. Like if you think about it just from your job or career standpoint, like you being a more whole, highest version of yourself makes you better at your job. It makes you literally like better at your craft, whatever you do. And that's why, like, I remember watching this viral reel one time that this guy was saying the best thing you can invest in for getting better at your career and advancing in your career is yourself. And it's like, it's obvious when you think about it, but a lot of people brush off the whole personal development craze because they think it's like self-centered or whatever their perception of it is. But in the end, you're going to serve your purpose better when you yourself are more full and whole in all the things that come from being dedicated to that journey.
Right. And then you impact the collective in a positive way. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you literally get better at your job and at being a mom or dad or sister, whatever the frick you like dedicate yourself to when you are more whole.
Right. Right. And to also see it as like the remembering process. Like you are already whole and complete and strong and worthy and abundant. And there's just like little blockages that we need to remove in order to really feel that energy. And that's where like, life looks so different when you're able to see it with that clarity. And then you're able to see yourself with clarity. And then you're able to see your passions with clarity. And everything just gets clear.
Yeah.
And there's still some unknowns, but it's like having fun with not knowing and being okay with the unknowns. It's like, I think we may have talked about this in another episode, but it's like finding like a kinkiness with the unknown.
Totally.
While also really cherishing what is known, even if it's not like the most desirable.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just so fucking proud of us.
Me too.
Like this has been such an incredible journey of listening to our intuition too.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
We had a vision. We made a vision board. We went on Pinterest. We found some photos. We did a photo shoot. We made a website.
Yeah,
and
we
then
can
we
put some of this on the screen. It'd be fun to show people.
Yeah.
What we
that would be cute.
Had.
Yeah, the vision board it really aligns with the photo shoot we had, and it's just so crazy. Like if you have a vision for something, start materializing it by just finding inspiration and putting it on a vision board, putting it on a Pinterest board, saving stuff on Instagram. Just like start to bring that the spiritual into the physical, into the 3D, and like materialize it into some type of form. That's why vision boards are so powerful, because you're taking the ideas up in the non-material and you're bringing it into the material, and it's just a step closer to coming into another form in the 3D.
Yeah.
And it's really special when you can look back and reflect and be like, damn, I fucking created that with the universe and with a friend. And it's just so special when you can look at the way that your energy, your intention, your actions really allow you to materialize the world that was once just in your imagination.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Should we give like a little shout out special to the OOMIEs and then tell them about the live show?
Oh yes, let's do it. Let's do it. We fucking love you guys.
Dude, I am like speechless. I mean, I will say, actually, what I'm having come through is I don't think I realized the true hype around having a community, because for so long it was felt out of reach, and that it was something I just heard other people having. Like I would follow, my favorite fitness instructor, and she had her sweaty bish community. Shout out Aubrey Winters. Or I would follow like just people that would talk about the power of community and how amazing it was. And I was like, that sounds cool, but I just didn't really know what it would be to get there. How do you create one? Like I just kind of it was very distant to me. And then through this, I feel like I've just had the blessing of experiencing community and connection, and people literally receiving our work and our words and our energy and getting back the abundance in the form of real human souls being like, hi, I listened to this. I found you through blah, 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 blah. Like you're impacting my life. And it kind of woke something up in me that really reminded me of my purpose in a really deep way. Oh my God, I'm feeling really emotional.
Oh. Now I'm going to cry.
Holy shit. Like the past few months, I don't think it's a coincidence. Oh my God, I was not expecting that.
I love it.
Like the past few months, I totally non-coincidentally, because I really don't believe in many coincidences, if any, I like have truly stepped into this purpose of mine that was so elusive to me before, and was like something that was my soul was kind of guiding me on. And I just listened because it felt right. But then it's only in the past few months that I had really deep epiphanies about what it means to fulfill my purpose. And literally like hearing from people. Oh my God.
Let it out.
I'm like losing my shit. Okay. Hearing from you, like this person, literally you listening right now, like having you guys reach out and in all the different forms that it's come through, and to like literally have a physical proof of what I had been trying to do for so long. It's like really life-giving and really life-changing. And it seriously fuels me in a way that I didn't even know was possible.
That's really beautiful.
So I just like genuinely love this community, and like every single OOOMIE out there. It really like, I just can't overemphasize how much it feels like this surprise gift from the universe coming through this venture with you. And I just didn't know what it was like.
It's really beautiful. I think the thing that's so fucking special about the community is like we're putting out the rawness of who we are, which is vulnerable, right? But that's emitting a frequency that's attracting other people that are on this path with us. Like we're literally all in this together. And I think the importance of community needs to be spoken about a lot more, because what happens a lot of the time is like you're awakening, you're on this journey, you're alone. Maybe you're the only person in your friend group that's going through this. And it's like to be able to tune into a podcast and recognize that it's not only you and us going through this journey, but like there's a whole freaking community of listeners here that are all on a very similar vibration, navigating a very similar path.
Yeah.
Different and similar at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think it's so special that I think it's like a testament to the vulnerability and the rawness of what we're putting out that's allowing us to be the facilitator of that community. And it really isn't about us, it's about what we're creating.
Yeah.
And like you guys listening and the way that you're feeling when you're listening to this podcast. And I think it's special for us on our personal journeys in like a more from an individual standpoint, because it's a testament to the art that we're creating as well. So it is about us and it's also not about us.
Right.
It's like this duality that exists, and it's just so beautiful. And I love to see you like emotional and just so tapped into this sense of purpose, because I remember you had that big epiphany and you sent me a whole voice note like, I know what my purpose is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's totally not, it's like been the divine timing of this being such a huge part of it, and actually feeling like I'm I got to the place of figuring out like, okay, this is why I'm doing it. And
Right.
like, it's just a surreal feeling. And I want like the community to know. Like also we literally talk about the OOOMIEs, you guys, like and your specific names. Like we know you guys. We know like the people who are listening every week and are like literally there at the Wednesday morning drop, except for a few hiccups when it gets released late.
Sorry about today, guys.
And yeah, I just think it's really cool. And I guess to that end, I want to share the hype that we have for this live show that we're doing in just a few days. You want to drop them in?
Yeah. So we were trying to think like, how do we want to first facilitate a place for all of us to like literally just hang out and chat and meet? And we wanted to do something when we were together because we knew that we had a trip coming up. We're like, fuck it. Let's send it on a live show.
Yeah.
Like, let's just hang out on a Monday night. We'll have a chat box. We'll do call-in questions.
Yeah. Like a proper, like we're running our own TV network and we're like going live.
Yeah.
Here we have our first caller.
We just want to hang out with you guys. And we want,
Yeah.
I think my biggest thing is that I personally know how impactful it is just to feel the presence of another person that's on the journey with you. And I said this when I talked about the live in episode 18, but it is so freaking important to just feel, whoa, like there's another soul that's on this journey right next to me, and they're getting what I'm getting too. Like they're picking up what they're putting down in the same beat that I am.
Yeah.
And it is so comforting to just feel seen for where you're at on your path. And I remember I thought I was kind of going a bit crazy when I was on this journey. I'm like, is this real? Like, am I feeling these higher frequencies? Am I feeling what are you feeling what I'm feeling? Like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? And everyone's like, yeah, I'm seeing what you're seeing. Don't worry. Like, we're good. And it just is so validating for your path, and it helps you grow and expand. And I think we spoke about this before, but the importance of community takes a whole new meaning when you understand the energetics behind it, because we are literally rising in energetic frequency right now on the planet. Yeah. And when we're hanging out with people that are in that same vibration and in that same mindset, we're literally sending out a bigger vibration and impact to the collective. And we're also able to sustain our own energetic frequency in a more embodied way. And it's just really fucking powerful. So it helps to put yourself in rooms and in communities with people that are on this path.
Yeah.
And it is going to change your freaking life, whether it be with us, whether it be with a coach, whether it be in a group coaching container, whether it be with a freaking community that you find in your town that meditates on Monday nights, like whatever it is, whatever you resonate with that like sits in your heart and soul, feel into that and listen to it. I'm not even saying just for us in this community as an OOOMIE.
Yeah.
Whatever community is calling your name, tap into being present in that community and sharing your voice and being vulnerable and being open, and just see how freaking good life gets. I'm telling you, like it changed everything for me.
Everything. Yeah. So to that end, if you're listening to this before Monday, November 13th, 2023, nighttime, before that night, like what's the time? We're doing a live show. It's called Live and Unhinged, and we want you guys there. It's going to be such a blast. And essentially what you guys get from listening to the episodes, it's going to be that, but really times 10, because we're in person and we have some really cool topics and stuff lined up.
You can view this as like your Monday night TV show, except you're going to leave the stream feeling so tapped in to that higher energy. You know the higher energy that I'm talking about. You hang out with the person that's like motivating the F out of you, and you're like, oh my God, I can go conquer my life. Like you're going to leave the stream feeling that way. And we're even thinking about maybe doing like a possible little activity or something that's like more interactive and immersive, so that you can really, it's going to be entertaining, but also you're going to leave the stream feeling so tapped into like that higher sense of self and the vision that you have for your future. I'm dropping little hints here, but it's going to be so powerful. And I'm so fucking excited to chat with you guys. A bunch of you guys have already bought tickets, but if you haven't, the link, we'll drop it in the show notes. They're $18.99. Oh, another thing, we're going to be dropping our first, our
we have
first
like a big
offering.
announcement.
A big announcement
that we're only making to the people in the show.
Our idea with this was that we're going to be releasing an offering, and we wanted to really hold space for the people that are really wanting to feel the presence of this community and that are strongly resonating with everything that we're speaking and want to feel the presence of other people who are also on that frequency. So we're going to be making a big announcement at the end of the live show that you'll have to join in order to find out what it is, so that then you can join that.
Yeah, and we'll do a replay. We'll for sure send a replay to ticket holders in case people can't make the actual time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun, guys. Come and hang out. I think you guys are gonna love it, and I'm excited to like literally be able to talk in real time. That's the cool thing, is if we're saying anything when we're in a topic deep dive or whatever we're talking about, and you want to ask questions, like in real time, we can answer. So it'll be super interactive.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited. Okay, do we have anything else that we wanted to share?
I think that's it.
Okay.
So much for a 20-minute quickie.
40 minutes later. Okay, cool. All right, guys, go grab your tickets and we'll see you on Monday.
We love you. Bye.